Hi, and welcome to Rate That Album, the back and forth music review podcast with myself, Paul Muad'Dib, and my good friend Joe Fremming. Joe, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Paul. I'm doing fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that you're fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, we listened to Kate Bush's The Sensual World for this particular episode, didn't we, Joe?
Yes, and I'm happy we did. I love Kate Bush, so.
You know what?
You didn't know.
I did not know that you love Kate Bush, but truth be told, I love Kate Bush. So I'm happy we did this. So, I like to bring up just a little bit about the album in itself, which I think is really crazy. This entire album is really based around the novel from Ulysses, the title track accordingly, but the novel Ulysses by James Joyce. And there's a soliloquy in there, and she asked if she could do it, and they said no. But then after the album came out, they're like, you can. So then down the road, she re-recorded it, utilizing the soliloquy that she wanted to do. Just not on this particular album.
Oh wow! Have you ever read Ulysses?
I am not cultured enough to read Ulysses, sir.
Yeah, I English minor in college, and James Joyce. It gets a little over my head, I think.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've tried to do it, and I struggle with this with like classic literary books and novels. I'm too much of a modern person to be able to go back and like, I don't know. I struggle with the classics. That's on me.
I think it's just the verbiage and how things are phrased. It's so kind of foreign to our vernacular these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it makes for a hard read. Like I've read some classical books. It's rough for just. It's not what I'm used to. I'm just going to stick to Mad Magazine.
What, me worry? So no, I mean, and I think you're right. Real quick on that, when we're going down that kind of rabbit hole, I find myself when I'm reading those types of things, I'm actually like Googling what is the meaning of, like, what was the slang term for this, or what does this mean? Because there's a lot of words too that are dead to our modern ears.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah,
sometimes it's just plain fucking boring.
Oh God, Moby Dick, anyone?
Oh,
sorry, that's a boring book. It's, you know what, makes for a good movie, makes for a boring ass book. But yeah, that's my take on it. So yeah, Joe, have you heard this? I mean, you're a fan of Kate Bush. Were you familiar with this album?
I knew of it. I didn't. I like Kate Bush. I wouldn't say I'm a super big fan. Like, she has albums I really enjoy. Never Forever is probably my favorite album of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And Hounds of Love is really good. I mean, it's just
Hounds of Love is amazing.
Yeah, so I really enjoy her work. She has such a distinct voice, though, that I can't listen to her all the time. It's like kind of like with Sparks, with that the way the vocals are. I can only handle just so much.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because I want to say that one of the things I struggled with this album was the fact that it was Kate Bush nonstop for that length of time, right?
And it's only a 48 minute.
Yeah, it's not a long album. It's not a long album. That said, there's a lot of good on it. But I liked a lot of the songs and put them on a playlist, and I realized that listening to a song and then like having a couple songs and then coming back to Kate Bush was really, really like the way to go about it.
Yeah, it gets the, maybe it's kind of like when you watch a David Lynch movie, it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
To sit, like you have to be in a specific mood.
Yes.
But we could also talk. I do like her like appearance on "So" by Peter Gabriel.
Oh God, so good.
So like when she comes in, like she helps really break that, because that's total Peter album, and that her duet, I think with Mercy Street, is it, or something like?
Yeah, I think it's Mercy Street.
Yeah, it kind of
and I agree. I agree. No, yeah, no, not I grieve. It's oh shit. Oh God, I know the song. Damn it! I now I'm gonna have to. Oh God, damn it! I gotta edit this.
No, the fans want to hear you Googling.
I'm sure they want to hear me Google. There was a "Don't Give Up." Don't
give up. Yeah, that's it.
Don't give up. Yeah,
and like
great song.
When I was listening to this album, the music really reminds me a lot of Gabriel's music as well, like this world beat stuff in it, which I really enjoyed too.
Yes, I was going to bring that up as well. I heard a lot of that, and you know what? I hate to say it, but there was some GILMER in there as well.
Yeah,
with some of the the guitar work was very GILMER-esque.
I think that's he was one of the people who helped discover her. Am I wrong? I remember somebody telling me that. I mean, I had a bootleg of her playing "Let It Be" with GILMER on guitar.
GILMER, yeah, no, he helped her do the demo, helped her make her demo tape, and that's how she got signed to EMI Records. Yeah, so GILMER was like instrumental to her getting her career. So yeah, I wouldn't say he necessarily discovered her. She's been writing songs since she was 11, but without the GILMER, you wouldn't have Kate Bush. So I guess that's one thing he did good.
That son of a bitch.
That son of a bitch. You know, how does it happen? One of our favorite bands, and we sit here and just try.
My favorite guitarist too. Like, I know there's guitarists better than him. He's like hands down my favorite. Just like how he phrases his guitar work, it just blows my mind. But man, Momentary Lapse of Reason, it just
there's no forgiveness. There's no forgiveness. No, and I will not do the reissue for this fucking podcast. It's not going to happen. No,
we already listened.
Thank you.
It's only slightly different, I would say. I mean, it's some more live instrumental parts, but it's still you can only put so much lipstick on a pig,
That's true. Just ask the Simpsons. So yeah, no, I think you getting back to her beginnings. Yeah, GILMER helped her when she was 16 years old to make a professional demo tape, and actually helped record and did some work on that demo tape for her, which is really interesting because she didn't really do a whole lot with him. She ended up doing a lot of stuff with Peter Gabriel, which is, I don't understand how that happened. And I tried looking into it and I don't see a whole lot. Like, there's not a lot of information on there about how she got with Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. I'd imagine someday if she writes a memoir, which I would read the shit out of.
Me too.
Because she's an interesting person. Like, she kind of going on, like she kind of vanished for like a couple decades, and then she only came back to do like a couple live shows, and she vanished again.
Yep. She from 1994 to 2006, she pretty much was like, "Hey, I'm out." She had kids. She just wanted to kind of do her own thing, and then she came back and started doing a few things. She was writing songs for like the Golden Compass and movies, and she came back, and then she just kind of disappeared again. So I don't know. It's interesting. So I would love to read
know more about her, but I mean, she seems like a pretty private person, so I doubt we'll get her memoir, but
probably I would agree with you. We probably won't, but my God, I would read it, or someone needs to write it for us.
Yeah,
the biography. Yeah. So this is her 6th studio album. Joe, let's let me get your impressions of the album as a whole. Tracks you like, tracks you didn't like. What was it?
Well, there's not really a whole lot I didn't like. Maybe some of the production styles feel a little dated. That's just kind of coming out of the era. I mean, you get that with So by Peter Gabriel and No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. I mean, just in that 80s, there was just a lot of that production style that kind of dates it, but that's really nitpicking from me, I guess. I really enjoyed it. Like, I really like Rocket's Tale and This Woman's Work. The title track I really love. It's a very interesting album. It's very dense, and there's no like big choruses or really anything. Like, there's not like, this is an album that doesn't have a single. You know what I mean? That is fine. I don't think every album needs a song that just pops and stands out. This works as a thread all the way through. I didn't like the spoken word part in The Fog.
Yeah, that was a bit off-putting, wasn't
it? It's more so spoken word with music. Just, I think we've talked about this before, but when I worked in my early 20s, I worked at this place, and my boss really loved Van Morrison. Okay. And Van's fine. Well, he's gone crazy now, but his earlier
he's gone full crazy.
he's the man with the golden microphone, like, he's insufferable. But my boss would play the spoken word poetry album by him.
Oh boy.
And it was like a triple album. And it just like, oh my, it gives me the 1,000-yard stare, like I'm Joker in Full Metal Jacket. Whenever his voice pops up to this day, just because I'm so traumatized by that.
Oh God. Yeah, spoken word. I struggle with it. There is one artist that I will do spoken word on, and we will review something of him down the road. But so I'm not going to say who that is.
Ted Nugent.
Yes, and his work with the damn Yankees. Yeah, there is a single on here, and it is This Woman's Work, right? Like, that was, and to be fair with that one, it wasn't even written for this album. It was actually for the movie She's Having a Baby, and it blew up, and so she just happened to put it at the end of this album. Technically, is there a single? Yeah, there is, but there really isn't. I mean, there were some videos made for some of them. Central World, Love and Anger. For me,
for people like who may not know about Kate Bush, she's more of an artist than a pop star. So
there's not a lot of to piggyback on that. There's not a lot of choruses, and like the music is not set up like verse, pre-chorus, verse, chorus. It's completely different.
And that's one of the reasons I really love her. Like, I just love it. I love her voice. Again, like I have to be in a certain mood, but if you're like looking for like an artist, Kate Bush is high among them for music.
I bring this up because Prince did it back in the 80s, and Kate Bush is the only other artist I know who did it. The song Deeper Understanding is all about computers and the relationship with the computer, having a relationship through computers in the 80s. Prince did it with Computer Blue, and I always floored by the vision that they had of what computers were going to do and what they could be in 1989.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, porn. Webcam. I don't.
Yeah,
It's whenever there's like a new medium out there, there's gonna be somebody's like, how can I jerk off to this? It's just how it is.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. I mean, it's everything comes down to, I mean, they always say the 3 F's, right? But still, I'm just amazed. Like, like the lyrics when she talks about, the voice module is completely needed. press execute. Just the fact that she was able to take something that was at the time a new medium and write a song about it and have that song still be relevant today is crazy. Prince did some of it, but in a different way. Like this was more like getting into like the addictions of computers and being dependent on technology, which you don't really get except from sci-fi art, from sci-fi writers.
Yeah, well, or the Unabomber. I mean, his manifesto is pretty much all about that.
That's true. That's true.
So, it's Kate Bush and Theodore Kaczynski.
There you go. Is she going to bring him in, much like the Beach Boys brought in Charles Manson? I don't know. You should find out. Jesus Christ. So, what were your standout tracks? Do you have particular standout tracks?
The title track. This woman's work. I liked Rocket's Tale.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, this album's great because it feels like a journey, and I really like albums like that. And this is a good album to listen on headphones. It's one of those headphone albums. There's a lot going on in the music. So yeah, those are the ones that stood out. It sometimes kind of feels like, since it kind of blends into like one another, there's parts where I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't do much for me, but I don't hate it. It didn't strike me in any way. And again, I think that kind of comes when there's no choruses or hooks or anything like that. That's just how an album like that is.
Yeah. No, and it's it's perfect for that. For me, I like the title track, Sensual World, Love and Anger, Reaching Out, Never Be Mine. There was Deeper Understanding, Rocket's Tale. This was, I mean, from when I listened to it like completely through by itself, it's a journey. I don't want to say taxing, but you've got to be in the mood. And if you're not in the mood, it's not going to work.
Yeah, kind of like Lamb Lies Down on Broadway when we were talking about that.
Yeah.
You got to be in a mood for it.
Yeah,
there's so much going on.
And it's so dense.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. There's a lot to unpack here lyrically. I mean, again, it's based on fucking Ulysses, for Christ's sakes.
That short novella.
Yeah.
With a Hemingway-esque short sentences that don't run on.
Yeah, no, totally. So but when I put these songs I put them on a playlist, because again, pretty much every song on here is pretty good. And I put them on my playlist and I shuffled it up. And again, getting one here, getting these tracks sprinkled in to other parts was far more enjoyable and actually made me really appreciate the album even more, because I listened to it again today. Beforehand, I was actually looking forward to some of the songs because I've gotten used to them through my playlist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
cool. I just noticed there's a reason why there's things that sound like Gilmer on this, because he fucking plays on 2 songs.
Yeah, I was gonna wait for you to pick that out. But yes, he is on Rocket's Tale. Rocket's Tale, though, that sounds like a bargain basement Gilmer to me. Like, I looked it up and I realized it was him, but when I didn't, I was like, oh man, that's someone trying to be Gilmer and they're not doing a good job.
Well, this is late 80s Gilmer.
He was a spent
reference momentary lapse of reason.
He was a spent force creatively, Joe.
I cannot sanction his buffoonery.
No. But yeah, it was like, because it's, to me, like when I was listening to it, I really, like, again, with Rocket's Tale, I like that song, but the guitar work, I was like, I said to myself out loud, I'm like, that's someone trying to be Gilmer. And they're not doing it quite right. And I was going to bring that up. And then you're right, Gilmer is on it. He's on Love and Anger, and he's on Rocket's Tale. The big thing you brought up, the big negative to this album, is the production style. It is dated, and that's unfortunate. And it's one of those things where I don't even think a remaster could fix it. But again, as you said, this is an artist. So if you are really looking for artistic music, like, you can't go wrong with this album. It's a damn near perfect art album.
Yeah, almost all of her albums kind of fall into that. It's just, yeah, the production, it just kind of falls into that 80s thing where, you know, at times it's just it's so full of like both like drum machine and the world music vibe that it just reeks of 80s. But
yeah, no, 100%. So Joe, I guess we come to this part now. I mean, you know, not a whole lot to say. Would you recommend The Sensual World by Kate Bush?
Yeah, I would recommend just about any album by Kate Bush. She is really awesome. She's really great. Yeah, I've never had a bad word to say about Kate Bush, and which is weird because I have a lot of bad words to say about just about every band on this planet. But
yeah, you do.
Yeah, but not her. I love her. I love it. I mean, I don't listen to it all the time, but I really enjoy her music when I do listen to it. So
yeah, I have to say the same thing. I have to completely recommend this album. And again, the same thing, anything with Kate Bush. I mean, understand what you're getting into with it. It is artsy. And you got to be in the mood for it. But when you are, it is damn near the best thing you can listen to. I mean, there's a reason why Placebo covered her, and, you know, and other artists have covered her over the years, different works of hers. It's just, she's solid. She's fucking solid.
Yeah. You know, I wish she would be doing more, but you know, that's what she chose to do. I mean, she's just I'm happy with what we got from her.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with what we got from her. And, you know, I kind of am glad that we didn't, just because I've seen artists come back and it's, you know, usually it's not what we want, right?
You know, she kind of followed the old show business adage, leave them wanting more, which is
yes,
a really good way of like bowing out, I think.
Yeah, because I could have definitely done a lot more with her in the. I would love to have heard, you know, 90s and 2000s Kate Bush. We did get it a little, but not a lot, and that's, you know, a shame. But at the same time, I'm okay with the fact that we got quality over quantity.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's really good.
So Joe, we're caught up. We if you're listening to this right now, we are caught the fuck up. So
yeah, people might have thought we were slacking for months on end. No, we were diligently recording every week.
We were.
Except a few breaks here and there.
Yeah, no, we did, and I got them all out, and so they're all out on SoundCloud, on this on YouTube, and we're gonna slowly drip them onto the Joe Down, so you're not just lambasted with all of it at once on the Joe Down. So I was speaking of the Joe Down. I think I saw what your latest one was, but why don't you tell the audience what you did?
We did one of the most perfect Clint Eastwood movies, Every Which Way But Loose. Nothing better than a man and his monkey, in my opinion.
Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey.
Yeah, no, Brown didn't like it. I thought it was fun. It's just goofy.
It's a fun
movie,
a fun movie. Brown didn't like it?
Yeah, he didn't like it.
Wow.
I was kind of surprised, but, you know, I've probably surprised him by not liking some movies he's picked, so.
Well, we're gonna have to dig into that, listeners. Sure.
We're gonna be doing that sequel. You know that for sure.
Oh yeah, you are. Now it was Any Which Way But Loose, and then what was the sequel called?
It was Every Which Way But Loose was the first one.
What was it? Any Which Way You Want, or what the hell was it?
Some bitch. It's like it's weird because the sequel is
Any Which Way You Can.
Yeah,
Any Which Way You Can.
The verbiage sounds exactly the same, so, but slightly different. So it's easy to confuse those two.
Yeah, no, it very, and because I remember watching him as a kid and not knowing which one was the first or which one was the second one.
It doesn't.
No,
two of Clint Eastwood's highest grossing movies too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're mentioning that, and the fact that it was a 2 hour long comedy, that at least the sequel is a 2 hour long comedy, action comedy, was not common back in the day, especially with the animals.
And the man with no name.
And the man with no name. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have?
It's Halloween month, Paul. So this week we'll be reviewing the 1979 version of When a Stranger Calls. After that, we're doing the original Exorcist, which I think Brown is not happy with because I told him that was pretty much the only horror movie that freaked me out. The Frighteners after that. I believe that's a Hobbit guy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And ending it with our good buddy Nicolas Cage with Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, Willy's Wonderland.
Nick Cage and animatronic Chuck E. Cheese rip-off monsters.
Yeah, yes. It's basically Five Nights at Freddy's the movie. Which is I enjoyed it, but I enjoy B movies.
I love B movies, so
yeah. So if you haven't seen it, I think you're gonna like it.
I hope it's better than when we watched that Bad Lieutenant movie.
Yeah, well,
that was.
I couldn't even bring myself to watch it yet. I will watch it at some point because I'm gonna have to see it because it's the Nick Cage craziness. Yeah. But I just haven't brought myself to it yet because I just haven't found the right time where I hate myself enough.
Oh God, it was bad, and I think I had the baggage because the original Bad Lieutenant is such this iconic, gritty movie from the early '90s that I think not a lot of people have seen, but they should because it's Harvey Keitel is phenomenal in it. And then you got the gritted realism of Harvey Keitel, and now you got the wackiness of Nicolas Cage.
No, it was going to be a fail, but at least Nick Cage tends to fail upward. I don't understand it.
The man won an Academy Award.
Yeah, he did. And it's going back to The Exorcist. The Exorcist didn't freak me out, but what did was The Exorcist 3 actually.
Oh, that's really good.
That's so good. Brad Dourif is amazing in that. And it's way better because I think a lot of people didn't watch it because Exorcist 2 is this weird ass horrible movie. The Exorcist 3 though is like the true sequel.
Yeah, and I don't think people watched it because that on top of the second one being pretty bad, but the third one doesn't have a whole lot to do with the original besides having the priest character.
Mm-hmm.
But it was I didn't know until because I love Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, so I watched it. He did that, and so you get the background information, and so the writer of the book, The Exorcist, was unhappy with how the first film came out, which is weird because it's a cinematic masterpiece.
Right.
So he decided he's going to direct the third one. It's good. It's different. It's very different.
I'll be honest with you. That one freaked me out more than the original Exorcist did.
Yeah, that one is creepy. The original one I saw for the first time was like 18 or 19, and I was like, oh wow, that was a head trip. But
it is. But I think the reason why is it didn't freak me out so much was because I don't believe in possession and that type of thing. So I have a hard time with movies that focus on it. And yet here I am. I'm watching Conjuring and Ouija's and all these other fucking movies because I love horror.
Yeah, and I don't buy into that shit either. But I like the more fuck with your mind kind of horror movie than. Mm-hmm. I love slasher movies, don't get me wrong, but I don't find them scary.
No.
They're just entertainment to me. Like something like The Exorcist or Mother.
Oh, God.
A few years, which was just a panic attack, the movie.
Yeah, it really is.
Horror movies I really get into. And ironically, it's also one of the reasons I love Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Kind of a movie.
Halloween 3 was complete. I mean, it's so harsh and dark, I mean,
but everybody was mad because Michael Myers wasn't in it, and I think that was just it's too bad people didn't latch on to that. I'm glad it's found a new life now. Like more people, I think, like Halloween 3 than when it originally came out. It's found a new audience that really appreciate what they were trying to do with that.
I would agree with you on that. I think, again, it used to be the Bastard Child. I remember as a kid, it was the Bastard Child movie, and it was the one that was always on, like TNT, TBS, that type of thing, because they could easily get the money for it. And I fell in that thing where like, oh, Halloween, and it wasn't Mike Myers. And then going back and watching again, it deserves more praise than what it got and where it sits, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Joe, what are we doing next week?
Paul, I'm going to put this in your hands. This is going to be a game of chance, and I'm going to bring this out every now and then. I have my Wheel of Bullshit.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We've had a good run of good albums.
Yes.
That I think we need a real stinker. So I've been doing research and all that, and I'm going to keep it at a list of 12. You get to pick between number 1 and 12 each time I bring this out.
Ooh. Okay.
And it's going to fall on a bad album.
All right.
So our fate is in your hands.
We're going to go with 7.
Oh. Number 7. The Clash. Cut the Crap. The last album they made, and the one they made after firing their melodic songwriter, Mick Jones.
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Well, I'm going to apologize now for picking 7.
Oh, you were doomed no matter what you picked.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Oh, boy. I've avoided that album like the plague. I've not heard it.
Oh, it's bad.
Like you don't even hide it. Like, oh, it's a shit show.
Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible album from a really good band.
Oh, yeah, because considering their classic was phenomenal. That was a steep fall from grace for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just good. So that's a glimpse of what the Wheel of Bullshit has in store for you, Paul.
Well, that's fantastic. Oh God. All right. Let me make sure that my thing has it. Ah, boy. Oh boy, it does. It pulls right up. God damn it.
It's available, Paul. All of these are available.
Yeah. All right. I got it queued up, so it's only 38 minutes. I can survive that. I can live that.
Yeah, you can.
I like the sarcasm there. Like, yeah, you have no idea what you're in for, asshole.
Yeah, I showed Brown a glimpse of this list, and he never even responded.
Oh shit! Speaking of, are we gonna get
stone silence from Joe Brown?
Oh God, are we gonna get him in to do an episode with us?
Yeah, I'll talk to him about that.
Okay, yeah, because that'd be cool. I'd like to do that. All right, fair enough. So, The Clash, Cut the Crap. Well, it's not the Lonely Hearts Club Band, the movie album. So that's good. That's good. I'm guessing that's on the list, though.
No, that's not on the list. That's going to be a regular pick from me at some point. This list is solely for the fucking worst of the worst, Paul.
All right. Fair enough. All right, Joe. Well, with that being said, do you want to take us out?
No.
friend.